Imagine being trapped inside a deadly jungle where wealthy people hunt humans only for entertainment. The story begins with a fighter named Bell, who is preparing to face another fighter named Johnny. Bell and Johnny were close friends, so everyone expected the match to be intense and emotional. Both fighters were highly skilled, but Bell allowed fear and pressure to take control of him. The moment he found an opening, he attacked Johnny relentlessly and badly injured him. Bell eventually won the fight, but his victory quickly turned into a nightmare. Soon after the match, he learned that Johnny had died because of his injuries. The news completely shattered Bell. He could not accept the fact that he had accidentally caused the death of his own friend. Unable to live with the guilt, Bell left his country and moved to Thailand. However, even there, the memories of Johnny continued to haunt him every single day. To escape his pain, Bell turned to alcohol and slowly became addicted. Day and night, he remained drunk, trying to forget his past. To survive, he started participating in small underground fights in Thailand. He even fought in illegal matches held inside luxury hotels to entertain wealthy audiences. One day, a rich man named Aldrich arrived to watch one of Bell's fights along with his bodyguard. After seeing Bell fight with incredible courage and skill, Aldrich became highly impressed. Later, Aldrich approached Bell and told him he was wasting his talent for such little money. He offered Bell a chance to participate in a secret competition in Myanmar. According to Aldrich, Bell would earn $1 million for every successful match. A portion of the money would be paid in advance, and if Bell won the final challenge, he would never need to work again for the rest of his life. After thinking carefully about the offer, Bell finally agreed. Aldrich then took him to his office and increased the advance payment, making the deal even more tempting. Without hesitation, Bell accepted the offer. The following day, Bell traveled with Aldrich in a helicopter to a remote jungle area. There, he met a powerful general who appeared to be connected to the competition. Afterward, Aldrich introduced Bell to several other participants. One of them was a wealthy businessman. Another was a father and son duo who enjoyed watching violent death matches together. There was also Marshall, a talented game programmer. Finally, Bell met Sophia, the daughter of one of the richest men in the world. When Bell asked about the size of the fighting arena, Aldrich gave him a shocking answer. He revealed that the entire forest itself was the arena, stretching across nearly 260 kilometers. Bell then discovered the horrifying truth. All the people he had just met were going to hunt him inside the jungle. According to the rules of the game, the hunters would work together to track and kill Bell. If Bell somehow managed to survive and escape from the other side of the forest, he would win the competition. Hearing this, Bell was completely stunned. He could not believe that such a brutal game even existed. Although he was handed a valuable ruby before the hunt began, Bell cared more about saving his life than earning money. Meanwhile, the hunting group began preparing for the deadly game. They dragged prisoners out of a vehicle, forced them to run into the jungle, and mercilessly shot them down. That was when Aldrich finally revealed the truth to Bell. He explained that all of them were among the richest people in the world. They had grown bored of normal entertainment and were obsessed with hunting humans for excitement. Their next target was Bell himself. After revealing this, Aldrich handed Bell an empty bottle and said, "You have only 2 minutes to run into the jungle." After that, the hunt begins. Bell was completely confused and refused to participate. He told them he was not interested in this twisted game and wanted to go home immediately. However, during dinner at the general's camp, several armed soldiers suddenly surrounded him. Realizing he had no other choice, Bell immediately ran deep into the jungle, and with that, the deadly hunt officially began. The hunting team quickly spread out across the forest in search of Bell. One hunter named Madhu decided to leave the group and track Bell alone. After searching for some time, Madhu finally spotted Bell near a waterfall. The moment he attacked, Bell managed to escape and jumped into the water below. A few moments later, Bell suddenly emerged from the water and launched a powerful counterattack. The fight ended instantly, and Madhu died on the spot. When the other hunters arrived and discovered Madhu's body, they were not frightened at all. Instead, they became even more excited because Bell had proven himself to be a dangerous and entertaining target. Meanwhile, Marshall was secretly recording the entire hunt on camera. After some time, the hunters finally located Bell again and immediately opened fire on him. Despite the attack, Bell somehow escaped and disappeared deeper into the jungle. While running through the forest, Bell eventually came across a herd of elephants. There he met a young woman named Thane. At first, Thane believed Bell was one of the hunters. However, after hearing his story, she realized he was also being hunted. Thane explained that she was a local villager who now lived hidden inside the jungle. Since she knew every secret path in the forest, she offered to help Bell escape. As they traveled together, Thane told Bell about her missing brother, Van. Long ago, the hunters had targeted him in the same cruel game. She also explained that many villagers once lived peacefully in the jungle. But later, the general and his men forced everyone to leave the area. Those who refused were hunted down by wealthy people for entertainment. Meanwhile, Aldrich asked the general to provide motorcycles for the hunting team so they could chase Bell more quickly. Using a drone, the hunters tracked Bell's location and discovered he was traveling with a girl. Seeing this made them even happier because they now had 2 targets instead of 1. Soon, the hunters jumped onto their bikes and sped through the jungle after Bell and Thane. Before long, they caught up to them. During the chase, Bell and Thane managed to knock down 2 of the motorcycles miles at the same time. Bell then grabbed one of the fallen bikes and raced ahead until he reached an old hut. A brutal fight soon broke out there. Sophia attempted to attack Bell with a knife, but Bell and Thane easily overpowered her. Even so, Bell chose not to kill her. Instead, he quickly got back on the bike and rushed away to rescue Thane, who had been captured by Jab and Topi. One of the hunters was about to assault Thane, but another member of the group could not tolerate what was happening and walked away. Unlike the others, he was not interested in senseless cruelty. When Bell finally arrived at the location, they discovered that Jab had already been killed. After this shocking discovery, the two continued moving deeper into the jungle together. Meanwhile, when the hunters found Jab's dead body, Aldrich became furious with Topi for leaving his father alone. Cab had spent a huge amount of money on this hunting trip because he wanted his son to become fearless and strong. Soon after, Aldrich finally discovered Bell's exact location. He had secretly hidden a GPS tracker inside the ruby that he had given Bell earlier. As the hunters approached Bell's location, Aldrich ordered the older hunter to move carefully because Bell had become extremely dangerous. The hunter grabbed his rifle and rushed toward the area. However, Bell noticed him first and immediately fired a shot in his direction. At the same time, Topi accidentally triggered a bomb nearby and was killed in a massive explosion. Bell narrowly escaped the blast and safely fled from the area. As night began to fall, Bell and Thane reached a cave that Thane often visited with her brother Van. The moment she entered the cave, she was shocked to find Van alive inside. Overjoyed, Thane immediately ran forward and embraced her brother. Since it was already dark, Bell, Thane, and Van decided to stay inside the cave for the night. Meanwhile, the hunters set up their camp nearby without realizing how close they were. The following morning, Bell woke up and discovered that Thane and Van had taken the ruby and disappeared. He quickly rushed outside to search for them. From a distance, Bell saw that both of them had already been captured by the hunters. Bell quietly moved toward Marshall and caught him by surprise. Afterward, Bell dragged Marshall in front of the hunters and warned them. He demanded that they release Thane and Van if they wanted Marshall to stay alive. Even though the hunters were unwilling to cooperate, they were forced to let both of them go. But the moment they were released, the hunters raised their weapons toward Bell and Thane again. Bell immediately told Thane to run. However, Sophia suddenly appeared in front of them with a gun aimed directly at Thane. Sophia was highly skilled and managed to overpower Thane with several punches and kicks. Still, Thane refused to give up and soon fought back fiercely. After an intense struggle, Thane finally defeated Sophia. Meanwhile, the remaining hunters continued chasing Bell through the jungle. As they got closer, Bell and Thane launched another surprise attack. During the chaos, they attacked the hunters and quickly escaped by jumping into the river. Later, Bell reunited with Van and Thane once again. At that moment, Thane returned the ruby to Bell. She explained that she had taken the ruby because the general had captured several villagers. She hoped to exchange the valuable ruby in order to free them. Bell understood her reason and did not get angry. Instead, he quietly pulled out the camera he had stolen from Marshall earlier. Bell quickly removed the memory card from the camera and threw the camera into the river. However, the camera was later recovered by the hunters. This made Aldrich extremely angry because Marshall had secretly recorded the entire hunt. Marshall tried to defend himself by explaining that he was not a hunter. He claimed he was only a video game developer who wanted to create a realistic survival game inspired by the event. But Aldrich understood that if the footage was ever leaked, all of them would be exposed. Blinded by rage, he brutally killed Marshall on the spot. At this point, Aldrich realized that capturing Bell would not be easy. Because of this, he called the general's army into the forest for support. Meanwhile, Bell and Van were preparing to rescue the villagers. While hiding nearby, Bell noticed Aldrich arriving in a jeep. That was when Bell finally understood how Aldrich had been tracking him the entire time. He realized that the ruby contained a hidden GPS tracker. Bell immediately created a new plan. He decided to use the ruby itself to trap Aldrich. He sent Van away with both the ruby and the memory card, so the truth about the hunters could eventually be exposed. Meanwhile, Bell traveled alone through the jungle on a wooden raft. Now the entire army, along with the hunters, was searching for him. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Bell continued fighting bravely and managed to defeat several enemies along the way. Eventually, Bell reached the other side of the forest. There, he found Aldrich and another hunter holding the villagers at gunpoint. When the hunters threatened to kill a child, Bell was forced to reveal himself. Aldrich immediately demanded the memory card from Bell. Instead of handing it over, a brutal fight soon began. Bell fought with incredible strength, and none of the hunters could stand against him for long. One of the hunters attacked Bell directly, but Bell defeated him in a fierce battle and left him badly injured. Afterward, Bell turned his attention toward Aldrich and beat him mercilessly. Just as Bell was about to finish the fight, hundreds of soldiers suddenly surrounded him. At the same time, Van reached the village and handed the ruby to the general in exchange for the villagers' freedom. The general appeared ready to accept the deal and leave peacefully. However, Aldrich refused to let the situation end that way. He grabbed the general's weapon and tried to continue the violence. Before he could do anything else, the general's soldiers opened fire and killed Aldrich. In the end, the villagers were finally freed from the hunters' control. The general was later arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment for his illegal activities in the forest. After everything was over, However, Belle and Thane got married and opened a martial arts school in the village. If you enjoyed this story, then subscribe to the channel for more exciting videos like this one.